Maya he, Maya who, Maya oh, Maya ah, Maya he, Maya who, Maya oh, Maya
So, the first step is you want to learn how to speak internet. Now, the key to speaking internet is understanding that the internet is all about identity. Alright, so individuals start out by forming their identity through the internet, through their experiences, through the social networks that they use. The other key to this is understanding the principle of the cyborg. Right, a communication journal wrote an article noting that when people use social networks and they get on these social networks, they essentially create a cyborg, a half human, half technology format that they control but still isn't part of the physical world. Now the cyborg can form any number of identities across any number of social networks. And what this really does is gives people the ability to be freely creative without any restrictions of identity that we would normally have in the social world. Hey guys, how's it going? Batman, Black Ranger, Red Ranger. One of the best examples for that freedom of creativity and that freedom of expression on the internet is the meme.
I like trains.
It's gonna last forever. So memes. Just like these examples that these guys gave, the memes are this great example of creativity because they are this open cooperative project that happens across the internet. And the more that people quote memes and the more that people use memes, it creates this giant snowball effect where everyone is investing in this social experience. Now the other great part of that is a meme works as a medium for communication. So even if Batman doesn't understand where Red Ranger is coming from, they can use a meme to communicate through to share that experience and share some understanding. So now that we've talked about individual identity and how the internet allows this formation of multiple identities across multiple platforms and allows for unrestricted creativity because the cyborg doesn't have the restrictions of the physical world, it's also important to understand that the organization also deals with an online identity. We know from journalistic research that organizational identity is kind of the gravity and the hub that pulls people in towards your brand. So what's a brand? Well, a brand is how people perceive the values of your organization. Now, the interesting thing about organizational brand today is it's no longer one-way communication. Back in traditional style communicating and mediation of a brand, it was one way and you could just tell people what your brand was. But now with this two-way dialogue, the brand has become a cooperative effort because these people who are participating in your brand are going to be the ones who are retweeting your brand, who are going to be sharing their opinions with their friends and are going to be the opinion makers. So it's very important to understand that we have to form an organizational brand. Now the way that we do this through our digital branding has a lot to do with social media and social media planning. Alright, so now you understand how to speak internet, and you understand that not only are individuals forming their identities online, so are organizations. So the next step is understanding that your social media plan needs design. So by design, you need to know what your goals are. For Campus Ventures, those goals are going to be interacting with students so that you can get face-to-face meetings with them. That's going to mean that you are informing students of when events are coming up and how they can participate in community service projects. And finally, that means you are offering an environment for alumni to come and participate in. But how exactly do we do that? Why did this always happen to me? These were such nice people! Just like the Harlem Shake video, if we're not careful about planning our social media, it can get out of the hand pretty quick. So it's important that we have a plan and see what our strategies are going to be. Sorry about that. Things got a little bit out of control. So, understanding how do we want to get our message across and how do we meet our goals. Well, for Campus Ventures, we're going to use social media networks like Facebook, like Instagram, like Twitter, like YouTube, and we can even do a blog if we want. Now, we do understand that with Campus Ventures, we have limited resources. With one director, anywhere from 3 to 4 staff members at any given time, along with interns and students, we aren't going to have unlimited resources, and we're a nonprofit organization, so that's something else we have to be cognizant of. But with our staff members and with our interns, we do have a great opportunity to really engage social media on a regular basis. And once we make it into a regular habit and a regular pattern, it won't be that difficult to invest an hour every day to getting on social media, posting 2 or 3 times a day. Now, part of the best way to do that is going to be getting into social media with a plan. Now, this plan, we talked about wanting to meet our goals. We can also put together some guidelines for the staff members and interns and student volunteers to be aware of. The other thing that we can really do is get involved in using hashtags. Now, if we can commit to using specific hashtags, that allows us to better track what's going on in our social media and allows other people to be better involved with our posts and understand what we're posting and why we're posting those things. So hashtags like hashtag TrapperCV service, so people can see the community service that students are being involved in. Maybe hashtag Trappers CV get involved, so that they can see the events that we're putting on and they can come participate in those. For our alumni, we could put hashtag TrapperCV out abroad, so that people can see the alumni that are traveling, that they were involved in Campus Ventures, and what are they doing now to participate in the world community since they used to be a part of our college community. Through all of these things, we can really start to get involved and engage our students, and then we start to get metrics. And metrics are essentially a measurement for how do you measure the people that are using your social media. Once we start using those metrics, we can see when is the best time to post, when are the most people going to see it, when are people going to be the most engaged with a post. All of those elements are going to come together to help us get to the point that we're not really trying to just win over eyes. Those aren't the numbers we're trying to get. We're trying to get real student engagement and real conversation and real two-way conversation, which is going to be key to not only building our brand, but is going to be key to getting towards our end goals. So again, those are 3 important elements of social media. Remembering A, that people use the internet to form their identities and be openly creative. That B, that organizations also have to form identity and brand, and that the users are going to help form that brand, and so it's important to involve them. And that C, it is important to have a plan, and that for Campus Ventures specifically, there's a lot of opportunities that are currently untapped within social media that could be utilized to up involvement with Campus Ventures, which is going to up involvement in the community that it's trying to reach out to. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. See you on the flip side.